After the Home Office Secretary made an announcement on some of the plans the government is going to be put into place to reduce net migration, there has been quite a lot of panic among those who are on the pre-settlement visa categories in the United Kingdom. And the truth is, the plan of the government basically is come spring 2024, after all of this policy are being implemented, the plan basically is that this is going to reduce net migration by 300,000, and this is from the 745,000 net migration figures released by ONS. And the plan is, after the implementation, they are open and looking at this is going to reduce net migration by 300,000. Now, as this sound really reasonable to the UK government, there's been a lot of backlash from the media and also from those in government on how ineffective and how unsustainable some of this policy is. But the point is, if this policies actually get implemented come spring 2024, it means that those who are currently on the student visa or planning to move into the UK on the student visa will be affected in so many ways by this policy. Now, I'm going to be mentioning or discussing how in this video. And also those who are on the health and care visa, the question is, all of those changes is going to affect those who are currently in the UK on the health and care visa, or it's only applicable to those who are coming to the UK on the health and care visa. I'll also be talking about this in this video. And later in this video, I'm going to share with you some clips on what people in government are saying about these policies and their thoughts around how reasonable or unreasonable some of this policy actually are. So if this sounds like something you'd like to know, don't go anywhere, keep watching till the end. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. One of the plans of the Home Office Secretary in relation to reducing net migration that's really raised a lot of concerns among people in the UK is the fact that he mentioned that the government is going to be reviewing the graduate route visa. And this was some kind of conversation that happened in 2012 that led to the to the end of the postgraduate visa in 2012. Now this conversation is about to start again in 2023. So the question is this going to be the end of the post-study work visa in the United Kingdom? How is this going to affect lots of international students in the UK or planning to come into the UK? And this is questions that people have actually been asking. And the truth is the government can actually do that. They are allowed by law to stop the postgraduate visa that allows international students to stay back in the country for 2 years or 3 years after their PhD or master's degree in the United Kingdom. However, this is going to definitely make, after that policy was made in 2012, it made the number of international students coming to the UK reduced. And if this is actually passed into law come spring 2024, definitely the UK will become unattractive to so many prospective international students, because many people actually decide to start coming back into the UK when the postgraduate work visa was reinstated in 2020 during COVID, and people started coming in because there's an opportunity to try to get a professional job upon completion of a program. Now, if this is scrapped, it makes it difficult for international students to get a job. Now, in addition to trying to stop the postgraduate work visa, now international students are no longer allowed to get a skilled worker visa until they get a job that pays 38,700. Now, I had a conversation with quite a number of people, yesterday when this news was going around, and we made an analysis and checked out which entry-level role is going to employ someone who is just finishing from uni and pay them 38,000. Expect to get a job in these big tech companies for an entry-level role. You probably might earn up to £40,000. However, most of the entry-level roles don't even give that kind of salary, so it means that it gets more difficult. You can apply for postgraduate visa, you can get a job, you can even apply, you can if you get the health and care visa, you can bring in your family, so it makes it very, very much difficult. So yeah, most international students or most people planning to come into the UK as international students need to weigh this option before making a decision. I personally advise everyone, we can't come in spring 2024 to probably wait until after spring 2024 to see what is happening before making that decision and financial commitment to study in the UK, because it costs a lot. Especially if you're coming to study for a master's program, you're probably going to spend about 14 to 17,000 depending on the university. So university will charge as high as 20 to 25,000 pounds. Now imagine having to pay all of those fees and you're not getting any return on investment, which doesn't make any sense in my own opinion. I might be wrong, but that's really my own opinion about this. So yeah, it's really challenging, but that's the reality of things. Now, that question being asked basically is around international people on the health and care visa. Is this going to affect people who are in the UK, or it's only going to affect those who are outside the UK. Now, the truth is, getting the health and care visa in the UK with your family, if you're going to renew your visa, I doubt if it's going to affect those who are already in the UK. And because many of the policies of the UK is usually going forward from this particular period. So if you're currently in the UK on the health and care visa, I doubt if this change in policy is going to prevent your family from renewing their visa with you. However, most of the policies in the UK are open-ended, so there are actually different interpretations to it. So it really depends on whoever that's handling your case when you push out your application to the Home Office. Now, there's been a lot of comments in media as regards some of these changes, and I'm going to share with you a clip now to hear what some of them are really saying about this net migration on both ends of this conversation. So listen to what they have to say.
The legal migration figures came out saying 745,000. Most people in this country were absolutely astounded. I think it took the government by surprise as well. In terms of what the government is now announcing, is the government very much on the back foot here?
Yes, it is. And it's not looking at the reasons behind such a high net migration figure. Because when you look at the breakdown of it, the majority of those people are foreign students who will eventually go home, but also health and social care visas. We need those people to look after our NHS, to look after the people in care homes, etc. So if you start to break down just looking at figures alone, then you're going to damage those industries immensely.
And what about the deficit that this is going to leave in the labour market? It doesn't feel like a very well thought out plan. It's such a massive difference, 300,000 difference.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. If you haven't got a plan in place to either bring on British talent or look at the wages within that sector so that it does encourage people within the United Kingdom to take up those positions, then you are looking at a deficit. If you're then going to restrict further the amount of dependents that somebody could bring in, so a nurse or a junior doctor or a care home worker now cannot bring their family, then those people are just going to go elsewhere where there are much more beneficial plans available to them. In Europe, for example, France and Germany will welcome the dependents as well. So they're just going to take their business elsewhere, and we are going to suffer for that.
I mean, it's fascinating in that, cleverly, for me, I did think was on the back foot. Robert Jenrick sitting there, I think in the front row, actually, these are pretty much his plans. Nicholas says it will reduce it by 300,000, which is right. But actually, when you look at those figures, they still means that something like 450,000 people will come to this country. Yeah. We're not building the houses, we don't have the schools, we don't have the education. So again, I think many people out there will be saying this isn't enough.
But the problem is when you only focus on the figure itself, you're not looking at the circumstances surrounding it. So yes, it is an incredibly large figure, and yes, you have to do something. But unfortunately, the government is grabbing at straws by saying this is something and we're going to do it. We won't see the benefit of this, we won't see the impact of this until at least 2025, bearing in mind it doesn't come in until spring next year.
And also, to use a hypothetical scenario here, which I think will affect an awful lot of people. Say you fall in love with somebody abroad and you want to get married and you want to bring them back to the UK. Now they have to earn at least £38,500 annually in order for you to even marry them and live with them in Britain, whereas previously it was, it was a third of that, 2/3 of that.
That's right. And on the surface, when I saw that, I thought, okay, fine, we haven't changed that figure for some years, and it shouldn't affect that many people, until I had a conversation actually with a colleague of mine, George, young person, who said, the government is now restricting who people can fall in love with. And I hadn't particularly looked at it that way. And I think that it's a really, really bad way of looking at your policy. Yes, you need to be able to support the person that you're bringing over to the United Kingdom. Don't make it out of reach of the majority of professions within the UK.
Well, let's bring in David now. David Hay, very good to talk to you this morning. Let's start, if we can, with legal migration. What were your thoughts when James cleverly set out this 5-point plan? I think what was really telling for me, health and care visas, those people with a health and social care visa cannot then bring family dependents. That change in the salary, so that at the moment the minimum threshold is 27,000, that goes up to 38,700, as we were just talking about that family visa as well, going up from 18,000 up to 37,000. That is quite a leap.
Yeah, good morning to you all. I mean, I think I agree with your Claire. I mean, essentially, it's really all about politics, and it's not about actually tackling the problems that we have in legal and illegal migration. And we've heard this all before. This is yet another, yet another minister, yet another prime minister promising things on immigration to win votes, which they've got 12 months left at maximum, isn't going to happen. And, from a human rights perspective, if I thought any of this had any chance of actually getting through unchallenged and being put into practice, I'd be a lot more worried than I actually am.
Wow. And David,
I hope you find this video informative. If you do, please click on the like button. If you have any question, please also state in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing Go family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.